There's a real possibility the Detroit Lions could trade Jameson Williams ahead of the 2025 NFL Draft. I know you think that's crazy, but let me explain it to you. Hi, I'm Mike Payton from A to Z Sports Detroit, and today we're going to talk about the real possibility that Jameson Williams could be traded during the 2025 NFL Draft. And look, I know right off the bat, let's just get it out of the way. You probably think this is clickbait. You probably think I'm doing this for views or some weird thing I don't know that they talk about on the internet. But this is a real thing. This is a real possibility. And the speculation comes from real ideas. And here's what they are. First off, Jameson Williams, tremendous player. Changes the game, unbelievable speed. So many things that he can do on that field. It's huge. I don't want to see him go. I know you don't either. But there have been some problems. Like, let's just get him out there. Let's talk about it. The 2 suspensions. The internal affairs case that the Detroit Police Department opened up on him in November. Obviously, no charges were filed or anything like that, but that was still out there. The injury, the getting flagged multiple times for celebrating, the getting fined multiple times, over $20,000 for obscene celebration. Like that stuff you and I don't care about. Like, we don't care, obviously. And if it was up to us, if it was up to me, it was up to you to reach into our wallets and pay the money to keep him, like, we would all do it in a heartbeat. But the thing about business is, you have to consider all things. Right now, we're looking at a guy that the Lions don't feel safe enough to give a contract extension to and haven't offered a 5th-year option to yet either. We're coming up on the deadline for that. That's May 1st, just a couple weeks away. And they're also a team that just brought in Texas receiver Matthew Golden for a top 30 visit. Now, Golden is essentially Jameson Williams. 4.29 speed, 23 miles per hour that he's hit on the field. Just a big play guy, deep threat, tracks the ball really well in the air. Significantly cheaper than Jameson Williams is going to be. You can get him at the 28th pick. If the Lions do that, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have 2 receivers that do the same thing if one of them can't be an X receiver. And I don't think either of them can be that. I think Golden can do exactly what Jameson Williams can do. Maybe not as well, maybe not as fast, but pretty close, pretty good. I think that's a good receiver. He's somebody that Dane Brugler has as his number 2 receiver in the beast scouting guy that he dropped last week. This is a guy that everybody thinks is the second best receiver in the draft. So if the Lions go that route, if they draft Golden, well, now you have the opportunity to trade Jameson Williams. And the reason you would do it at the draft is, again, you go back to that 5th-year option that they haven't given out yet. May 1st is the deadline. If they were to do that, they would then owe Jameson Williams $15.49 guaranteed $1 million in 2026. Right now, he's a free agent after 2025 because they haven't extended that 5th-year option yet. So if you trade him ahead of the draft, or at the draft rather, you save essentially another $15 million, but then you also save probably an upwards of $30 million a year because this guy is going to get a big contract. If he goes and balls out in 2025, the Lions are going to be in a position where they're either going to have to let him go later or they're going to have to let him go. He's going to cost a lot of money. I'm telling you, that's the thing. Could be a 4-year, $120 million plus extension, a lot like what Amon-Ra St. Brown just got. If he's making $30 million a year, that's going to make it really hard to also make Brian Branch one of the highest paid safeties. Kirby Joseph, probably the highest paid safety in the league. Aiden Hutchinson, the highest paid edge. Sam Laporta, the highest paid tight end. Jahmyr Gibbs, the highest paid running back. If you move on from Jameson Williams now and draft Matthew Golden, you have a really good chance of just keeping all those guys. If you move Jameson Williams now, you have the ability to pay all these guys. If you keep Jameson Williams, you are suddenly paying for one of the highest, priced positions in the NFL. You have 2 of them because Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the highest paid receivers in the league. So it makes a lot of sense that you move off of one of these guys And while it sucks and we don't want to see it happen, and nobody wants this to happen, it's the harsh realities of the cap. It's the harsh realities of being so good at drafting. It just you can't keep everyone. It's really, really hard to do, and without making drastic sacrifices. And this would be a drastic sacrifice that the Lions could make, and they would wind up with a pretty good receiver in Matthew Golden, and they'd wind up with a significant amount of money in which they can keep all those guys. It sucks, but you got to do it. You almost have to do it. And we'll see what happens. I'm not saying it will happen. I think things have to happen in order for this to happen, but it's certainly a possibility. It's one I wouldn't rule out. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below.